you, Avsal. Avis Gilmour, representing both the North West TUC and Regional Secretary for the NUT. Avis.
Thank you. First of all, on behalf of the North West TUC, I must say that we were really proud to be involved with the launch of the Nick Griffin Must Go campaign and to be continuing with our involvement in the campaign. The work against racism and fascism forms a thread right through all of the work that the North West TUC does, both fighting it directly and in supporting the affiliated unions and the trades councils in the work that they do in fighting racism and fascism at all levels and in all of its forms. And one of the things we have done within the North West TUC presently is employ a community organiser who is working specifically with communities in places like Burnley and the east of Lancashire on issues that are of importance to them, and we agree with Afzal Khan, it's about local issues and what it means to people, with the aim of supporting community cohesion and certainly working towards a much better result in the 2014 elections. On behalf of the NUT, I'd like to say we're really proud to be affiliated to UAF and to work with them, not just at conferences like this and in supporting their literature, but being there on the marches and demonstrations that are so important to show the fascists that there is a huge number of people, the majority of people in this country, completely opposed to them. I think it's interesting that you've got so many education unions here today and so many education unions actively supporting both UAF and other anti-fascist, anti-racist groups. It's of real concern to our members when people who have racist and fascist ideas get into positions not only as teachers in schools, but as school governors, as local councillors who have responsibility for education in their area. And although the NUT is not affiliated to any political party, it was those concerns that urged our members to vote for a political fund in 2008 with the specific purpose of being able to go out and campaign against the BNP. And we know that we're being a bit successful in that because the BNP have had quite a campaign against teachers, and we've had a number of members who fought racism and fascism openly being reported to the General Teaching Council as people unfit to teach children because of their left-wing views. And this at the same time as the GTC had BNP teachers reported to them and found there was no reason why they couldn't continue teaching, and there was nothing to say that their views were imposed upon the children they taught. But the NUT believes there's no place for people like that in education in any form at all. We believe that teachers have a very real responsibility, not just to children, but to the wider society, because the values and ethos formed by today's young people will shape the society of the future, and we need to live in that. Teachers see on a daily basis the hurt, distress and anger that festers and grows when there is the bullying of anyone who is different. Teachers see on a daily basis the hatred, prejudice and intolerance that grows where there is segregation of young people into racial, religious, social and economic groups. And teachers see on a daily basis that the politics of this government are actually exacerbating the differences. Academies and free schools encourage segregation. The NUT doesn't have a policy either in favour or against faith schools, but we do see that the advent of free schools, which are built around specific social groups, economic groups, racial groups and religious groups, are horrendous for the future of society. We see that the very unnecessary cuts that are being made by this government are hitting hard and disproportionately to those people who are already disadvantaged. We see women being suffering more unemployment. We see migrant workers and immigrant workers suffering more unemployment because of their employment within the public services. And sadly, we see that Labour aren't offering any real alternatives to these policies. So we don't underestimate the task and the size of the task that's in front of us. We absolutely must work together to ensure that Nick Griffin is not re-elected in 2014. We must not only work together, but as I think a few people said, the marvellous idea of everybody marching together, campaigning together, it's really crucial to have that successful campaign to remove the BNP completely from the political landscape. Nick Griffin must go.